Gaurko saioa ireki duen filmak itxuraz eta teknikoki apala ematen badu ere, badauka merito handi bat. Bete-betean asmatzen baidu kontatu nahi duen istorioa kontatzen. Eta hori da alegia zinemaren helburu nagusia, istorioak kontatzea. Kasu honetan, Huescako Pirinio ondoan bertan bera utzitako herrien inguruan sortutako ekimenen argazki zehatza ematen digu dokumentala. Altosilla, Ibort eta inguruko herrietan oso mugimendu interesgarriak sortu dira herri hauek berpizteko eta modu ekologikoan antolatzeko. Baina hau guztia ez da batere samurra eta dokumentalak ederki eta modu adierazgarrian eta aseptikoan azaltzen ditu problema guzti horiek, bai eta herri horietara joan nahi dutenen problemak ere. Txus Ruiz de Erentzun kaiakista bikaina ezaguna dugu zinemaldian, iaz ere gure artean egon baitzen. Oraingoan aldiz askozaz lan borobilagoa ekarri digu Kantzenjungatik jaisten den Tamur ibaian egindako txangoa kontatzeko. Kasu honetan nik azpimarratuko nuke Bideografik ekoizpen etxekoek egin duten ahalegin izugarria benetan lan borobila eta profesionala ateratzeko. Eta egia esan, bai irudietan, bai ofeko ahotzen testuetan ere nabaritu egiten da. Gainera oso euskera polita erabilita. Tamalez, historiak ez dauka mami handirik eta gidoia nahiko eskaz geratzen da. Nolanahi ere, hau izan da euskeraz aurkeztu den filme bakarra eta beraz kategoria hortan irabazle izango dugu eta meritu osoz. Izan ere, esan nahiko nuke gure artean asko kostatzen zaigula pentsatzea ez dela nahikoa ideia onak izatea filme bat egiteko. Batzuetan, baliabide profesionalak eta teknikoak eskuratu behar direla holako zinemaldietan planak aurkezteko.
I don't know what you've been told, but I don't get out much these days. Waking young and feeling old, the days are no longer my own to piss away the waking hours. Don't let them go to waste. The fire in my eye is fleeting now. Your robot heart is bleeding. Try to be the robot.
Kilian Suest izeneko produkzio frantziarrak korrikolari gazte katalandar baten erronken berri ematen digu. Kilian gazte-gaztea da eta bere mugak non dauden bilatzen dabil. Alegia parte hartu dituen lehiaketa guztietan nagusi izan ezkero, oraingo helburu nagusia erronkak haustea da. Egia esan, harritzekoa da mutil honek daukan talentua, indarra eta heldutasuna. Garbi dagoena da eta film honek datu erakusten duena da mutil hau oso urrun ailegatu daitekeela. Carmen Portillak zuzendutako dokumental honek, Edurne Pasabanek 14.000 atzetik Annapurnari egindako igoera kontatzen digu. Alfiloko beste lan batzuen antzera oso lan borobila eta profesionala dugu eta gusto osoz ikusten da orokorrean. Tamalez, nire ustetan Annapurnaren igoera izan da Edurne Pasabanek gainditu behar izan duen enpresa gogorrena, eta bertan beneta une latza pasa zituen. Lastima zuzendariak egoera horiek adierazteko aukera alperrik pasatzen ustea.
No, somebody says that in Himalaya every time you have the snow, you have ice. But it's not really like that. I think there's the big difference between the spring, autumn. Of course, in Himalaya during the summertime, it's impossible to climb because there is the monsoon. You have the jet stream, very strong wind, 180 km/h. And this is the worst case you have during the Himalaya climbing. Of course, you have the low temperature, because you have the -40, -45. You have the short day, you have not place to recuperate, because in the base camp you have still -20, so it's difficult to wash yourself, to rest, So this season is really tough season. The hardest part, I think, is of course the higher part, because usually in the jet stream, if you have a strong wind, it is not very bad on the low altitude. 5,000-6,000 meters you can do something, but if you try to push to the summit, you need to find 1 or 2 days silent day, more, let's say less wind. So you should have a luck to be in the right place in the right time. We left a lot of things. For example, South Face of Lhotse, we didn't climb. We tried 3 times. We didn't climb, so I think we should come back to the South Face of Lhotse. This is one of the biggest walls in Himalaya. And I think our idea should be to continue the exploration in winter, because, as you know, in Himalaya, all 8,000-meter peaks is already climbed in winter. But in Karakoram, no one is climbed, so 5 summits left, all in Karakoram. The weather and the difficulties are more difficulties in Karakoram than in Himalaya. So what for left? Karakoram. But now what I saw, the climbers, they are focused on the Karakoram in winter. So I hope this year maybe 1-2 peaks more will be climbed. But still K2 is I think is the biggest challenge, is to climb K2 in winter. Any festival, it is a good idea, because the people, they should meet each other, because for me the alpinism, it not means climbing, it not means mountain, it means people in the mountain. But in the mountains, sometimes you are very in a remote area, we didn't see each other. But the place like festival is a place when you can meet friends, you can meet other people, you can see what they did it, what they feel. I think this is the kind of culture very important because, you know, alpinism is different than sport. In sport, after match, everybody go home. But there is no meeting. But the festival is the occasion to meet people because this is the human aspect of the climbing. And for me, for example, it's very important. So the idea to do the festival here in Basque Country, especially, they are so strong climbers you have in Basque Country. So it was a good idea.